Hello again from Circuit of the Americas here in Austin, Texas. My name is Dominic Fugere, and we're back for qualifying 2 of the DirtFish Rallycross of the Americas here at COTA. Lots of action in qualifying 1. We still have 4 television programs to go, 4 shows. Qualifying 3, which will go underway shortly. Qualifying 2 will go underway shortly. Qualifying 3, qualifying 4, and then the semifinals and the finals. Behind me is the pre-grid is getting ready for the second qualifying of ARX 2. We had O'Connell that won one of the first races, lots of action. Some of the cars were even pulled out with the recovery truck. We'll go to Andrew Coley, which will tell us all about the action that was in qualifying 1. To you.
So the ARX 2 cars were out first on this brand new track at COTA. It's got a turn 1 joker, which made things tricky for everyone figuring out the tactics. Was it quicker to go on lap 1 or not? We saw a jump start from Anderson in this one, but this was probably the moment of the session. It was Keats who was leading, ran himself wide and deep on the brakes. That allowed both Brooks and Rimmer to get underneath him, and then he ended up driving into the side of McCoy's car at the side of the road. Arpin there, you can see how to dip the clutch off the line, whereas Faust and Speed got away from the line equally, splitting the strategy up at turn 1. Clever stuff, pretty standard from Volkswagen. These guys are on it. That was Faust waving to the crowd and probably trying to get a breeze in the car as well. It is hot here. Bennett on the inside did a good job in this race. He was sideways in the Mini, but he was up there. Ken Block managed to close him down on the Joker tactics, but he was in front of Atco. Unfortunately, on the very last lap, Bennett tucked the car into the wall, leaving Block to take the win. But Block off the pace of the front runners from Volkswagen as well as his teammate. So Speed taking Q1 from his teammate Tanner Faust. Then it was Arpin, Sandell, Ken Block, Chris Atkinson, Pastrana and Bennett with a DNF. The target time of that one was 2:23.3. So it'd be interesting to see, will the track develop or not in this session. We've already seen a little bit of a blue groove on the inside of it. I know we don't know how this one's going to develop because we've never been here before.
Introducing the all-new Volkswagen Jetta with best-in-class standard torque.
Beautiful sunshine here at COTA for the second ever round of America's Rallycross. This, of course, is the first time that we've been on the home continent for this series. The championship started at Silverstone in the UK. You might be able to hear from my voice that that is where I am from. And we had nice weather in the UK, Bucky, but nice weather for us is like high 20s. This is average weather here, and it's like mid-30s. It is hot. These guys in the grandstands. Yeah.
It is hot. Man, the drivers are, they're taking on a bunch inside those cockpits right now. There's no wind in those cars.
And with the way this day is as well, so they did free practice early this morning. They then had a break of a couple of hours. There's no respite from the heat. I mean, obviously they've got motorhomes, they're going chilling, but you just got to keep taking on water, I guess, through the course of the day.
I'm sure these guys are running cool suits. Yeah, but there's no escaping it. It's hot. Beautiful weather. Beautiful.
Yeah, stunning.
Yeah,
absolutely
I'll
stunning.
take this any day.
Yeah, me too. Me too. It is bizarre though to be sweating. You know, I must admit, I've had a couple of beers in Rainy Street, and when you're sitting sweating at 11 o'clock at night, you know it really, in shorts and t-shirt, you know it really is hot. You know, when I was packing my bag, I was like, should I take some hood? I did. They're totally and utterly redundant out here. You can see umbrellas up for the sunshine. That's the bridge which leads across right from where we are. That goes down to the hairpin. You can see just underneath the DirtFish branding there. DirtFish, the title sponsors this weekend. The DirtFish ARX of COTA. And of course the World Rallycross Championship will come back here later this year, along with round 4, the finale of ARX. The guys from ARX are also joining the World Championship up at Trois Rivières in August. So good to have this championship underway. Bucky, it's great to see a new rallycross series in America.
It is. I was just thinking how great this ARX series is. And it's what? The fastest growing motorsports in America right now.
100%. 100%. Rallycross so popular. The race format short and sharp. We hope you guys are enjoying it at home. Let us know who you think's on for the win. At the minute, my money's on Volkswagen. What are you thinking, Bucky?
Volkswagen's looking about 2 seconds to be faster. About 2 seconds in a race. So
that's a big gap.
That's a little bit on every corner. So I don't know where the guys are getting it from, but they got it. So the other boys are going to have fun trying to play catch up.
So we just had a message through that Travis Picoy, the car number 3 in ARX 2, is not going to make it out for this run. Now, we saw Picoy retire at the side of the road. Turns out they're going to have to change the engine on that. So, you know, 25 minutes to turn it around, Bucky. I can't think of any team that will be able to change an engine in 25 minutes, even on a lights car.
Yeah,
I mean, you'd have a go if you're... Yeah, sure. So, Picoy's going to miss this one. The entries here mean that he'll still make the semi-finals, but it's really important to be at the front of the grid if you want to win, isn't it?
It's a big price to pay. I mean, we're not only racing against each other, they're really racing against time right now, and that's costly.
Unfortunate. So Scott Anderson, Matt Karpov and Alex Keys are the grid for this. If you look at their positions after Q1, you can see 5th, 6th and 9th.
Now, if I was these guys, I wouldn't go in there banging it up.
So they've got, with only 3 cars, they can make some space, can't they? Get their heads down and try and do lap times.
Yeah, get their times. Don't go racing each other, just get the times. That's what you're chasing.
Bucky, obviously you love rallycross, and I know you'd love to be back in the car. I know you like building cars.
Why you gotta keep bringing this up?
You know, we're trying to get you in. I've actually got a pretty good record for getting people in cars, man. I mean, you've been a factory Subaru driver. We're going to see if we can get you back in there. But we're grateful to have you up here in the commentary box. I'm interested. These kids are learning the sport.
Yeah.
What was it like for you when you came from your background of extreme sports and skateboarding, and you know? Suddenly you're jumping into a race car. What are the hard things to learn?
Well, I think as a skateboarder you have a lot of spare time because people work, your friends work. So I spent a lot of time at pool halls and doing track days. So
really?
I spent a lot of time just doing track days and just got fast.
So
got my licenses and boom.
You had a passion for cars kind of before you got into the top level of motorsport. It wasn't like just like, okay, I'm going to try this.
Yeah,
you were already into it.
Yeah, I was into it.
Oh, wow, cool.
Yep. I was more of a tarmac guy.
Yeah.
This whole dirt gravel thing,
it's hard, isn't it?
it's not hard.
It's fun,
but
though.
it's different.
Yes.
And then once you learn it, you really don't want to go back to tarmac.
No. Yeah. We'll take a 90% track. We're going to get these guys off the line. Oh, that was a super fast start on the outside. Borderline to a jump start, I would say. Looking at the reaction times, Keys 0.4. I mean, that is about as fast a reaction time as you can get. We've got Keys and Karpov into the Joker lap around the outside. And that leaves Anderson, who, of course, jumped the start and had to do a penalty Joker lap in the first one. So we've just seen the start there. This time, everybody getting away clean.
Yeah, that was great. Keys killed it on that start.
Now, this is the dirt section where we saw in the last ARX 2 race. A few issues for people running a little bit deep on the brakes. They've got to stay in the blue groove. Bucky, explain to us on this wide shot here, you can see the blue groove really clearly.
You want to stay in the black blue groove stuff. You don't want to touch your wheels on the dirt, on the stuff that's a little lighter in color, because it's going to hang you out there a little bit too long. You're going to lose time.
So basically you end up getting wheel spin or a little bit too sideways, and in these cars, particularly without the 600 horsepower, I guess it's all about momentum.
Tick tock, tick tock. You're losing time. You got to make it stick in these cars. Any sliding, you're just shaving time. You're just wasting time.
So Keys at the minute is 2.9 seconds back. Going to be really interested to see. We're still trying to get our heads around exactly what a Joker lap time is like here. Now, the last round of the World Championship, actually the ARX 2 cars were almost as quick through the Joker lap as the supercars were, because they can change direction because they're so light. But
very nimble.
Here, I mean, okay, the gap goes up to 3 now, so Anderson's going to hold on, I think, for the last lap here. Around the left, flies the jump nicely. There's actually a fairly wide line through here too.
It is. I was curious on whether outside inside would work here, but the blue groove is obviously down the center where you want to stay.
So it's hard then, unless you gave someone a nudge in the hairpin, which is a little bit cheeky, you maybe could make them run wide and then get them on that next long straight.
Yeah, but I don't know if I want to mess with the stewards and the officials.
Yeah, sure.
Is it worth it?
Exactly. We've got tough stewarding in ARX, same as we have in the World Championship. Anderson through the Joker lap. He had a gap of 3.3. and he comes out clearly in front. So I reckon, what's that, 2.5 it looks like you need then to hold on to the position in an ARX 2 car.
Yeah, so did it make a difference him taking the Joker in the beginning, or did it benefit?
Is it better to hold on until the end? Well, Anderson has held on until the end on this one, managed to get clear track, and again, I suppose it's going to be, isn't it, to do with whether or not you get the whole shot. If you get the whole shot, you can choose when to Joker rest. If you get hung out to dry, I guess you might as well chance it.
Yeah, you have to.
Chucking the car around, Anderson crosses the line to take the checkered flag. 2:33.6 is his time. That looks to be a competitive one.
Anderson's got his car turning. His car looks like it's turning really good. A couple of these other cars look like they have a really big push on the front end.
So there's a lot to do with settings, isn't it?
It is. If these guys aren't helping setting the car up and they're just going out there and just trying to drive it, you're only going to drive it as fast as the car will let you drive it.
So basically, these young drivers need the help of a good engineer, particularly when all the cars are exactly the same. You know, obviously, if you're driving a Volkswagen supercar, you know you've got one of the best cars out there. Same with Subarus as well. But these guys have got to try and get the car engineered just right. Looks like Scott Anderson has managed that with a 233.6. Keys, Karpov in P2 and P3. Keats and Pecoy with a DNS. And Pecoy we know was a DNS because he is having his engine changed. So that is a bit of a shame for him. Going to miss Q2, and that's going to drop him a long way down the order.
Yeah, that DirtFish RX2 car looks really good.
Nicely set up. This was the run down to turn 1. So what did Anderson on the inside look? Stands on the brakes and gets the car turned in.
Really smooth.
Yeah, and the other guys had obviously decided early doors, hadn't they? We're going Joker. Haven't seen too much where last minute decisions just yet. A little bit of a hop on the front there of the car as he's turning in, but as you say, he just seems to have a lot of front end traction.
Yeah, it's turning in. It's doing what he wants it to do. He looks like he's just going for a little Sunday cruise.
Happy days. That's what you want. Looking relaxed in the car means you're comfortable and confident with it. Seems to be around the right time as well. As say 2:23.3 was the time for the supercars in the last session, and with a 2:33.6, Anderson is about 10 off the pace. So a similar time to the top of the timesheet in the first session. Will anyone beat him in the second race? Let's go and find out from the man himself. He's with Dom now in the holding area.
That was a heck of a race. You made it all the way up front. Walk us through it.
Yeah, I mean, we didn't have much radio contact at all that race. So I was actually hoping I was getting the calls right, or getting the calls right myself, because I was just I had really nobody in my ear that I could hear. So, but yeah, no, it went good from the start. Good jump, good start, and then last lap, I felt like I had a really good joker. Really pretty easy race, honestly.
Awesome job. We'll let you get to scrutineering. Good job.
Thanks.
So the car's down there in the tent, Bucky. It's saying scrutineering. So explain to people at home roughly what they do there.
It seems like that's where the real battle is with those cars. Coming in overweight, you're going to lose a spot or two. So yeah, it's very, very key to have your team weigh these cars. I don't know if they're with weight, with drivers, what it is, but yeah, they all have to come in weighing the same.
We had somebody underweight actually in Q1. So in Q1, we had a disqualification for one of the ARX2 guys. The second of the two ARX2 races coming up to the line now. If you missed Q1, ARX2 is the support category for ARX. Just as in the World Championship, we have RX2, the support category for the World Rallycross cars. These cars are a space frame chassis, mid to rear engine. I think it's nearly a 2.5 litre Cosworth, normally aspirated, sequential gearbox, so they're good cars to learn the trade in. Fraser McConnell, Christian Brooks and James Rimmer in this one. So problems for a significant number of the ARX2 guys on the way in. The first, third and fourth place drivers in this. P2 missing. The marshals lining them up against the jump start sensors, making sure that nobody can cheat the lights. We have a random gap between the ready to race light going out and the green light coming on. Bucky, we're bringing all the tech from the World Rallycross Championship with us.
Yeah, I like what I'm seeing. Yeah, I do like what I'm seeing. I like the timed racing. I like the clocks. I like everything. It's really good.
The timed racing's interesting, isn't it? We were talking to Scott about this back in the UK, and he was saying he prefers the format. There's just a bit less contact, you know, and also he was, you know, out and again and again and again. You've got to be consistently quick all weekend.
Yes. Here we go. Lights are about to go out.
Look for the green. Brooks in the middle. Or gets the best start as well. So Brooks nice the way that Rimmer's going to try and drag him around the outside. I think Rimmer's going to have to go Joker here, but he goes standard lap. So all three cars going to try and undercut. Brooks runs wide. Rimmer's going to get him. So Brooks is out in the dirt. And that's a perfect example of what you were saying.
Yeah, that's what you do not want right there. He just got stuck out there. He got pushed out there. He couldn't do anything. He had to fall in line.
So no good for him. Oh, McConnell on the inside this time, and McConnell manages to hold on. So McConnell is bike braking on the outside, and now Rimmer was running a bit wide. Brooks was having a look up the inside, so this one's going off.
Yeah, they're battling here. They're going to tuck in. They're going to try to follow, but they don't have a lot of time to make the action happen. So here we go.
So what do you do if you're Brooks now? Release and go to the Joker?
Man,
yes. He does. So Brooks,
if he was caught up, yeah, you got to create that space. I'm sure a spotter got on there and was like, take the Joker.
so just say, okay, get yourself into the Joker lap, get yourself away. That's what he's done. Rimmer, I think, has closed the gap a little bit here on Fraser McConnell. Fraser McConnell was the winner of Q1. Nicely done there on the brakes from Brooks. He was just moving the car a little bit to make it
really
rotate.
balanced, dialed it through there, really, really clean. Let's see if Rimmer can reel him in a little bit here.
McConnell continuing to lead, him and Rimmer yet to Joker. Okay, so Rimmer goes Joker now. Rimmer's going around the outside. McConnell and Rimmer's looking to cover off. Brooks behind. Watch for the merge here. So Brooks on the left-hand side of your screen, and Rimmer's going to hold on. So Brooks didn't make up enough time in that one lap after he jokered.
And did you see the speed that Rimmer carried to take the Joker? So I'm very curious to see if this plays out in the end.
Contact. So Rimmer gets a little clip in the rear end there from Brooks. So Brooks into the back of Rimmer just a tiny bit. And that's going to play into the hands of McConnell. McConnell
is gone. They're not going to catch him. That little contact, I was hoping that Rimmer's going to give him offer him a little something at the end, but I don't think he's going to have anything for him.
Into the Joker lap, former leader McConnell, 1Q1. This is going to be close though on the inside. Rimmer and Brooks, I think McConnell's got enough. Rimmer doing a nice job there, moving across to try and shut the door, but not quite close enough.
I think if that contact wasn't there, Rimmer would have been door by door, side by side right there.
You actually, if you go wide like that, you're going to cost yourself time, aren't you? But you're going to hold the position. So we might see, particularly once we get to the semi-finals and we're looking at people trying to race for position, I think you will run yourself wide, won't you? Cost yourself a tenth or two, but hold the place.
Yep, and look at this, dive on the inside. I knew that was going to happen. He had a good setup on the exit of the hairpin, little under over.
Great spot, under sec. Nicely called. Brooks managed to get Rim, and that was exactly where you said you thought the passes would be, Bucky, wasn't it? At the end of that straight.
Yep. If you can upset them on that blue groove on the hairpin a little bit without being too much of a bad call, you know, make it a racing incident. Get in there tight, battle. Just get a little bit of scrub in there. Just battle. You know, that's
Robin's racing,
that's it. As long as it's not a hit.
Managed to get a good move in. Sees a little bit, maybe a little bit more than rubbing on the front left, but I don't know if that was from that incident or not.
It might not buff out.
No, it might not. It might not. Here's the result of the second race of ARX2 from Q2. Fraser McConnell taking it from Christian Brooks and James Rimmer. Brooks taking that place off Rimmer on the last one. Martel and DNF on that one. DNS, sorry. So both him and Cole Keats missing the start of that one. And of course we have Bacoy missing it as well for the engine change. So 3 cars not starting Q2. But you can see from that Scott Anderson and Alex Keys, who went out in the first race here of Q2 for ARX2, were faster than Fraser McConnell. So McConnell, who won the first qualifying session, coming in P3 in this one based on time. There's the cars heading back up into the paddock. Let's take a look at this. So it was a pretty even start, and I was convinced here that when Rimmer couldn't out-drag him to turn one, that he'd go Joker, but he chose not to.
I don't know why he didn't.
And then Brooks, I think, got a little bit nudged wide, didn't he? So McConnell just got up the inside here. Okay, is this the move?
Yeah. No, that's not the move.
So that's where the damage came from, though. Yeah. So that was the lap before.
I think here comes
the move on the back straight.
The outside inside.
Oh, that was the end of the race. Okay, so the replay guys choosing not to show us that one. Okay, here are the standings then after our 2 qualifying sessions. So you can see Fraser McConnell won Q1. Scott Anderson with 50 points wins Q2. But it's not quite enough because his result in Q1 wasn't as good as McConnell's was in Q2. So they are P1 and 2 at the minute. Look down the total column if you want to see where it's going to be close. So for me, there's probably only 5 drivers there who are in with a chance of taking the top qualifying spot, because these guys at the bottom with 0 points for DNSs in the races that have happened so far, they're going to struggle now, and that's going to mean they're on the back of the grid for the semis. All the cars will make the semis here due to the entry, but we're only going to see 6 go through to the final, so you want to be on one of those front rows if you want to stand a chance of making it up to the top step of the podium here at COTA. Look at that view. What a place.
Man, oh man, what a beautiful view.
Fantastic. So we're using a section of the Formula 1 track. It's the stadium section where there's a few big grandstands. The paddock then is built just to the outside. The big scoreboard and the famous tower overlook the circuit here. But a track day happening at COTA last night, so there are a bunch of GT cars hammering around the track. This place is fantastic. I can understand why they do an evening track day when it's 38 degrees. There were plenty of extremely exotic pieces of machinery which would have been baking during the day, and I guess you can get a bit longer out of your tyres and your brakes if you had a track day in the evening. Okay, let's take a look then at the grid for the first of the ARX races in Q2. Ken Block on the inside. Chris Atkinson, Travis Pastrana, the Subaru teammates are next to him. Oliver Bennett on the outside. Oliver was 8th after Q1, but could have come in P2 in that race, and that would have seen him line up next to Ken. So Bennett was a DNF. What can he do in this one? So what's your thoughts on starter positions then? Where do you want to be? Inside?
I definitely want to be inside. But put me on the outside. I don't care.
You say, I mean, that's, yeah, you have to deal with it, don't you?
Yeah, I'm still curious about taking the Joker first lap. Like, I'm wondering about the speed that you carry, and if that affects you if you take it later. Yeah.
We'll have a chat with some of the spotters in between the sessions, see if we can find out.
Yeah,
it's a good point, yeah, as to whether or not there is an advantage to be taken. There's Forrest Duplessis, Ken's spotter, Ken on the inside. Atco with a great reaction time. This time the car goes well. Pastrana's gone with it. Bennett's out the back door. Brocklow's going to get the whole shot down towards turn 1. Pastrana's got Joker straight away, but Atco is all over the back of Ken Block as they come down towards the hairpin. Has a look up the inside. Pastrana's going to drop down to P4. And Pastrana there. Bennett's bad start could hamper Pastrana if he catches up with him and Bennett doesn't Joker.
I see that. I see that happening actually.
Bennett sideways in the mini again. Block from Atco. So Atco spotters will be looking to see as well the differential for Pastrana in the background. So we think it's about 2.5 seconds the Joker lap differential for an ARX 2 car.
Travis has already caught him.
Oh, Joker for Atco. Atco goes Joker, so he's gone around the outside now. Watch for Pastrana at the merge. And I think that's in response to Pastrana jokering on the first lap, and Atco's managed to hold on.
Yeah.
On board now with Travis. It's interesting, he pulled a gear over the jump, you can hear it.
Yeah.
Listen to the power, you're just eating gears, aren't you?
And tires.
Yeah, 100%. They've only got 12 of the controlled Cooper tyres to use here. Atco with a big push through that narrow gravel section. Ken Block running himself wide on the turn-in, but getting the focus straight on the exit, almost using the dirt to help rotate the car on the rear left.
Ken is he sees these things, you know. Sometimes he'll chase sometimes he'll chase the tarmac line a little bit wider just to get that groove, just to get that nice turn in, so he's not sliding on the dirt. So it's good to see him, watch him kind of play with his line a little bit.
Let's watch Block through this narrow section here. This is the committed part I'm on about. You know, if you get this wrong, you're definitely in the wall. So Block now coming out to take his Joker lap, runs the car out deep. Look to the inside to see whether Atco's going to cause him any problems. Block turns the car in, but he's a long way ahead.
Ken goes wide.
All the curb and a bit more. So I wonder where track limits is over there. I'm guessing that Ken Block was right up to the edge of it. Flies the focus over the jump. Pastrana a little bit wider in the background. Tiny drive from Block though here. I don't know where Bennett's on a go slow, so we can see Bennett from the commentary position. He's going slowly, he's still circulating, but he is going slowly around the circuit, so a problem for him in the mini. But you are looking at Ken Block, who's going to take this one. What's the time going to be like? Over the line, checker flag falls, 2:24.7. That's only 1.4 off the time.
He's finding the time.
Yeah.
He's finding it.
1.4 off the time of Speed, who won Q1. So that's a tidy drive from Block. Have they found something with the focus? And if they have, what can Arpin do in the next one?
I think they just made Ken lift off the gas a little bit.
Tidy it up.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's interesting for me watching Pastrana. Pastrana's clearly really quick, but you know, is he just having to get his head back around these cars? I can't imagine it's something you just jump into and it's easy to drive straight away.
You know, I think when it comes down to it, Travis, he's still jumping like 50 cars right now. I think he's still in his mind. He's like, I'm going flat out. It's fast.
Yeah, so he's still in Evel Knievel mode.
This car is so fun to drive. I'm just flat out.
So he's just having fun from last week. It's good to see him here. The dude smiles all the while. It's my first time meeting him. I know you spent a lot of time with Travis over the years.
Yeah.
What a cool guy. Nice guy. Like
very humble.
Yeah, really normal.
One of the most humble, outgoing guys you know. Like,
yeah.
He's definitely my favorite superhero.
Yeah, totally cool guy. Ken Block taking that one from Atkinson and Pastrana. Oliver Bennett does get to the finish, but you can see he's a full 30 seconds back, so problems there for Bennett in the mini. Got one race left to go in this one.
Ken's got to be happy.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. His
spotter will be happy too. Forrest Duplessis is 33 years old today.
Good job, Forrest.
Yeah, well done, Forrest. He doesn't look a day over, what, 40? He's a good guy. It's nice to see Forrest again. We saw him regularly, of course, in the World Rallycross Championship. But here's Ken threading the eye of the needle through that committed section, taking the checker flag. It's a good time from the Focus. So Ken, I believe, is with Dom now. Let's go and have a catch-up with him.
2 heat wins in 2 races. Seems like this Focus RS-RX is made for measure for ARX.
Well, getting there. Made some changes between the heats, but hey, it's a good way to start out. My launches are good. I'm getting in the first corner where I needed to be, and just control the pace from there. So feels good. Still got some work to do, but stoked to start off the year in Rallycross with two race heat wins. So it's good.
Think you might have something for the Volkswagens?
I hope so. I think we still need to do some suspension work to get there, but it's getting there. It's getting there. So, you know, they got years of development work on that thing, and we're still trying to get this thing sorted like we want, but working on it.
Awesome start. Great stuff.
Thank you.
Ken, really happy with that. They said they've been working on the car. Him and Lowenbro Motorsport have been developing the Focus. They had a few problems getting it where they wanted it when it was in the World Championship, but
right.
Lowenbro have just gone and done some stuff straight away. They've made up some time, and I don't know, he seems happy.
Yeah, happy Ken Block is a fast Ken Block.
Yeah, yeah. He's a guy who needs to enjoy his racing. You know, he said he wasn't really enjoying racing for P8. Scott's got the glasses on in the car.
Yeah, that's when you know he's fast.
That's it. So he's fully. That's it now. Yeah.
It's game on with the glasses.
Glasses on, game on. He's got his teammate Faust next to him. Faust takes a deep breath, tightens the harnesses, and let's take a look at the grid for race 2 of Q2. Speed on the inside, the winner of Q1. Good job by Ken Block, though. Has this track developed? What can Speed do with his teammate Faust next to him? You can see he was P2 after Q1. Remember, the grid for Q2 is decided by the previous session. That will continue all through the qualifying stages. Steve Arpin and Patrick Sandell on the outside. There are the guys from SRT USA waiting to spot their man, Sandell. Faust bangs the car into gear. This is my favourite part. The tension builds up as we get towards the start. Setting up the anti-lag, getting the RPM good to go. Ready to race. Light's going to come on the right-hand side. That goes out. Wait for the green then. So loud. Mega start by Faust. Absolutely brilliant on the reaction times. Beats Speed undoubtedly. Will he close the door in turn 1 though? He doesn't. Faust goes Joker into the standard lap. It's Arpin right up underneath Scott Speed, and Sandell's gone with Faust.
Oh, here we go. We got ourselves a race.
What a start by Faust. That reaction was incredible.
It was. He was half a car ahead of Speed before he even got off the line.
So Faust now going to try and close down that gap. I wonder if Speed will respond. We've seen this a lot where if somebody jokers and the other driver responds by joking on the next lap. If he leaves him 3 laps, he's got longer to try and close that gap.
We're going to see this gap that he comes up on our Arpin here, because if he doesn't close the gap a little, if Arpin doesn't close the gap, then he's going to have nowhere to go. Like when it comes to the merge, it's going to be interesting. Interesting
there for Speed too, not to go joker. So Speed was, what's the gap? It's 2.5 back to Faust. That's what it was at the last sector 2, so 2.8. So Speed's made 3/10 up on Faust, so in that case he's doing the right thing to hold on out front, and Faust now is closing the gap down on Arpin.
And if he's bringing Arpin along with him, where's Faust going to come back in if Speed does get ahead of him?
Speed.
It's going to be door to door with Faust and Speed.
100%. What will the teammates do when it comes down to that? We're still not sure what the joker time is for these guys, and that's interesting. So, okay, so Faust, they fully split the strategy. Arpin goes joker now. So Arpin's out wide in the Focus. Look to the inside. Faust is going to get him. It's Sandell as well. Could be close on the merge for P3 before. Sandell gets him too. So Arpin there has dropped to the back. Now we're going to see a pure race between the tactics of Faust, who jokered on lap 1, and Speed, who's going to joker on lap 4.
Are we going to have to roll up our sleeves on this one, or do you think they're going to keep it clean?
I think they're going to keep it clean because they've got so little time between the sessions. You know, these guys joke all the while about, I said to them, what do they say to you? Said, just don't hit your teammate. That's basically what they say. But we'll see. We'll see. Maybe later on today. Round the outside goes Speed. Faust on the inside. Look for the merge. This one's going to be tight. Faust's going to try and shut the door. Speed's got him though.
Speed got it.
Nicely done. Faust on board with him now. On the gas over the jump. The 2 Beatles fly. They land so well. These cars look mega. Into the hairpin, do it with a handbrake, and then pulling gears. Here we go, 600 horsepower on board. So much fun to drive. into the right-hander. The two Volkswagens are aiming for the target time of Ken Block, which is at 2:24.7. We're looking for when the clocks are going to stop. They're going to do it easily.
Oh, yeah.
2:22.5. So, in fact, he's gone quicker.
Party mode has been activated.
Is it the glasses? It's the glasses. We saw the glasses
it's a little
went
more
on.
than the glasses.
That was good stuff from Speed.
He's just dialing it in. You know, I've seen him work the track, man. He'll pick a corner and he'll just pick it apart.
Just 10,
Yeah,
10
he'll
hundredths,
just pick it
hundredths.
apart. He'll be like, what was my time? What was my time?
Yeah.
And he'll just the whole course do it.
That's that circuit background thing again. There he is with the win in his race, but also in Q2. 2:22.5 from Faust, Sandell and Arpin. Let's see where they go. Good result for Ken Block. So Ken Block up in P3. Remember, this will be the grid as well for Q3. So we're going to see Speed, Faust, Block and Sandell go head-to-head in the second race of Q3, with the other four drivers going into the first one. Speed not looking too hot and bothered, to be honest. There's a green light off the start. Look how close it was here.
Yes, such a good jump there.
Faust went Joker lap one. And then, you know, I say I was expecting Speed to respond straight away, but he got those 3/10 to be on the first lap, and then he just kept hammering it in, so he knew he'd have a gap when he came around to do it. But
he is so precise. So precise. Such a good driver.
These guys.
I wonder if he's using his handbrake, though.
Yeah, mate, he's tidy, isn't he?
I don't think he even maybe just unlock the diff a little bit.
Yeah, make it turn in a little bit more. Stop it pushing. So by pulling that and then you unlock the rear diff, so that stops the car with traction at the rear.
That opens up the front and rear tires so that you can rotate the car easier.
So 2 qualifying session wins for Scott. Speed puts him at the top of the table from Tanner Faust, who's been P2 in both. Ken Block moves up to 3rd. Sandell, look, has been 4th. I think it is in both sessions, so he holds on to P4. Then it's Arpin, Atkinson, Pastrana and Bennett. Bennett, who's been having a little bit of a tricky day so far. He's going to make it through to the semis. He'd like to be a little bit further up than that. Great stuff from Q2. These guys are starting to get into their stride. Dom is down there now with Scott Speed, who just put in a wonderful performance, picking the track apart, Bucky Lasek said. Let's see what he's got to say.
Scott, 2 heats, 2 race wins. You're on top of the standings so far in front of your teammate. How's it feel?
The car's great. The team's obviously prepared us some really great cars. Seems like we got a lot of pace on the other guys. Right now it's just going to be managing mistakes. We got a good draw in qualifying, so we got to start the very first qualifier from pole. That's a huge advantage. So we just have to protect our starting spot from here on out and race them to the final.
What do you think about the track so far?
Yeah, the track's great. It's changing a lot as we're here, which is nice because it gives us something to have to adapt to as the dirt rubber's in. So it's been fun to experience those changes, but we'll see. So far I've just had track out in front of me, so hopefully we can keep it like that for the rest of the race.
Scott's being on top of the standings after 2 qualifying. Go get ready for the 3rd one.
Cheers.
Scott Speed then taking the result in Q2. He's won both sessions so far, and there you can see at the top of the standings, 50 points for each of those first 2 sessions, winning them both from his teammate Tanner Faust. It's Block P3, Sandell P4, consistent all day today. Arpin, Atkinson, Pastrana and Bennett, who's been struggling a little bit, but we're only halfway through the qualifying stages. Q3 and Q4 to come. The teams have got a little bit of time to reset, then we're going to get the battle back underway on track as we get through to the semis and the finals later on today.
And that's it for qualifying 2 for ARX, America's Rallycross here from COTA. We should be back in about an hour from now. Be here on Facebook Live or on our YouTube channel, ARX Rallycross.